Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Presence of Light with Jolly Riverman Bergeron. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this beautiful world of we call Earth, Mother Earth. And my apologies for not being here last week, but I was on an adventure of blessing a river from its source to the sea. And it lasted about 4 days. So there wasn't a way that I could possibly be here. And so, anyway, it was a wonderful journey, and we have honored the water and we have honored our ancestors simultaneously in that event. Today, however, we have this bright sunshine here on the southwest coast of Maine in the United States. It's very chilly. We had a frost. It was 0 centigrade and 32 Fahrenheit. So the fall has really deepened into its later uh, form, which is really nice for us who enjoy the seasons. And here in New England, we really get to experience 4 unique seasons. And they show up and they greet us with certain little things in nature that happen, and it's all part of. I like to call it a dance of life, where we realize we're not just the only living beings here on this planet. That the trees and the animals and everything that is living, uh, even even some non-mobile objects which are living, are really connected at a level that we're remembering. We're remembering. Our ancestors knew how we were connected, and we're finally coming to, many of us, to awaken to what has been lost over the years as we thought that we had more wisdom than the earth. And my light keeps flickering off and on. If it continues, I'll just leave it off. So welcome, 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 Angel and others who are showing. It looks like we have a new format here on Facebook Live, so I'm going to get used to that, or I won't. So today's message arose. It's darkness birthing light. And there's several reasons for that. A, we have a new moon, which is, when we look at it, it's darkness. It's a place of darkness. And the nighttime, the sun is not reflecting off the moon and shining on us. So we come into this sort of womb-like environment. And and from that, today, I think it's the light returns and starts to build in the moon, so that we have light, bright light during the day, and then we have the reflective light in the nighttime. And light is very important right now. I do a kirtan program at 10 p.m. on Good of the Whole every night, and we've been doing it for 200 and something nights now. I'm not the singer or the guitar player. The gentleman named Tony Two Cats is. And however, we unintentionally, just filling in space, did this. And every night we send light and love to the world, and we encourage other people to do that while they're singing along at home with the kirtan. And realizing that over this time period, we have built up a deeper light within ourselves and a more of an open willingness to share it with people around the world. And uh, it doesn't matter where we send it. The fact that we are actually building it within ourselves and then choosing to intend it be sent out to the world, what happens is creates a flow of energy. And this is what really is happening as we start to come out of darkness and birth light. Same thing with the moon. A little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and then it builds up to you have the full moon. And I look at that pattern and I say, this is what we each as individuals, beings of light, and we are beings of light, can actually do if we just nurture ourselves to a place where we're not only receiving the light that we need, but we start to have build up an abundance. My guides always have been told if I get less than 20% light in my body, then to stop everything and just concentrate on light. And of course, as a dowser, I will douse that. But the reality is, we all know when we don't have much light. We don't feel good. We have no enthusiasm. Everybody gets on our nerves. This is a sign of our lack of light because it's light that feeds the love. It's light that is the vehicle for love to be present here. And I will probably talk more about that later. So, Margaret, good to see you. Yeah, and sending light and love to the earth, waking the light and love within ourselves, opening, creating a flow of energy. Bless you, angel. You are an angel. Thank you. And that's what we do as angels. And this this medallion or this pin here is an earth angel. And that's what I was given when I was recognized and given the name Riverman. I was recognized as an earth angel. And the woman who gave this to me, the indigenous woman who gave it to me, said that she had been waiting for me to appear. And I had no clue at the time, this was 30 years ago, or 20, at least 25 years ago. I had no clue what she was talking about. And yet here I am talking to all of you, beautiful earth angels as well. And this is the reality of what's going on in the world right now, as we see the world in this very dark state. Okay. And what's happening also, we have this new moon and also the celebration of Diwali in India. It's a Hindu celebration of light. And I'm not that familiar with the teachings of that, but just the fact that they're celebrating light, knowing that in their teachings, the great celebration is about life. It's all about life. And so light and life it's begin with the first two letters, Li. So I don't think we can really separate them from each other. The card I pulled this morning, which is interesting, I think I can get it up on the monitor here. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Any darkness I encounter, I transform into light. And this is what started this talk this morning, was this simple card from a friend of mine who creates soul inspiration message cards by Kalia. And that simple statement of any darkness I encounter, I transform into light, really was an expression to me to say, Charlie, this is what you do. This is who you are. This is what you have been doing. And we want you to continue to do this. I hope many of you are receiving that similar message right now. In whatever way you are contributing to the light of the world, or to the love of the world, or to the field of compassion. And I hope that you are hearing those messages. Keep going. Because this is who we are as light workers. This is who we are as the children of Creator. However you believe in that is really irrelevant. What's important is that you follow the inside process of that, of what are you as an individual being guided from within. What are you doing with the information that you're receiving? And I don't mean the information you're receiving from channel whatever it is here on planet Earth, because that's all distorted. That's all manufactured, and it's done so in order to keep us in a state of confusion and control. And we all know that now. It's not something that's a secret. We've known it for a long time. The difference is that we have to live in a world and live around that and not allow that information to distort the true information that we're receiving, not to our brains, but to our hearts. Our hearts are becoming the communication system. Not that they already weren't, but we've kind of shifted up into making the brain the receiver system. So there's a lot of shifts going on. There's a lot of changes going on within us. There's a lot of changes going on around us. Cariana's with us. Bless you, Cariana. I like the way this layout is set up. I can actually see you in the column directly below instead of looking over there. So I may be more willing to have more of a direct communication with you. So thank you, Facebook, for that. I give you credit for something today. Okay, so back to the subject. So when I woke up this morning and wrote these notes, the sun was blazing on my back, and it reminded me that every day when we see the light, that there's a light that is present. Okay, and that light that we turn into is always present, whether we are facing it or not. And that's what we see in the moon. When it's full moon, then we're getting the reflection of the light. And we can see that. What happens is we get into the darkness of our stories, the darkness of our teachings, the darkness that of being stuck here in this COVID situation where this virus is still creating suffering and death for so many people who are innocent. It breaks my heart to just think about some people who have done nothing in their lives that would warrant to have to go through what they're going through. And it reminds me of ages and ages of this occurring. And I know that there's nothing that I can do to, if I had a magic wand, we'd all make it go away. But it's part of what we're going through in order to remind us that no matter what happens to us physically, that we are still something more. And when we face situations of devastation or starvation or illness or people who are just brutally controlled and attacked, who do not deserve the pain and suffering that they are, that we have a call to rise into the light of who we are and offer that light to those people in what I would call that state of darkness. We are the transformers. We are the ones who have been called to be here right now to assist them and to remember who we truly are. So it's a form of reciprocity. What we give to others, we receive more of. I'm going to take a deep breath at that because it has two sides to it. If we are harming others, if we are sending out negative thoughts and hatred and jealousy and all of these things and frustration, why would we think that we would not be feeling that as well? And it's really a simple thing. If you are projecting these energies, they have to come through you first, just like the light. The light has to come through you in order to be sent out. It's not, we don't create it here in with our brains. This is the universe. This is the divine presence of all it is, the divine presence of creation. Whether you want to look at it from a quantum field or you want to look at it from a religious teaching. It doesn't matter how you look at it, it's what it is. It's the energy of life, it's the process of living. Whether you're a tiny molecule in a rock or you are a physical being, there's no difference. It is all part of this pattern of existence that has been in creation for millions of years, not just hundreds and thousands. I can't tell you when the universe was created. I can't tell you how it was created. But I know that in that creation process, we are still part of it. It is still creating itself. And so are we. If we look at the evolution of who and what we've been through, our ancestors, and every day I read another report, oh, we found somebody 500,000 years old whose DNA is now related to somebody here. The DNA in our bodies is the life source that keeps us evolving. And I'm going to say that, and I have no scientific proof of that. But I will say this, that right now our DNA is changing. Right now we have pharmaceutical companies who are playing with our DNA, okay? And they're looking at our DNA as a source of healing. And it's beautiful, it's wonderful. But the other side of that is they're also looking at our DNA in order to create human beings. And that is an abomination. That is to try to design human beings to do what you want them to, or to be what you want them to be, is a violation of all universal principles, irregardless of what it is to religious principles. And I'm not going there today, but it's just rising in my blood. This is where light comes in. And this is where that saying, any darkness I encounter, I transform into light. And the topic today is darkness birthing light. The great message here is, yes, we all recognize that there's a darkness. We all recognize that we, on some level, suffer in that darkness. But the magic is, we have always had the power within us, the source of energy within us, like the sun, that will keep us within our hearts, not our brains. And we just have to slowly let go of the brain and what it's reacting to, and come back into our hearts and saying, how can I love more? How can I love the people that are hurting me? How can I love the people who are hurting others? How can I love the people who are making ridiculous laws that are creating damage to Mother Earth without respect for all of humanity and all living beings on it? All they're interested in is money and power. How do I love them? How do I send them light? It's not easy. But then if it was easy, we would have less respect for it, wouldn't we? The easy things in life, we just, oh, that's no big deal. Oh, I can do that. I can do this. But how many of us are sitting here saying, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can love my enemy. I don't think I can love the person who has violated me. I don't think I can do that. Let go of the thinking. The thinking is here. The thinking is here, not here. The heart doesn't have to think. The heart has a direct communication with that which we call God or Supreme Creator, whatever, what you want to look at that as. And in my process of dying and coming back, it was peace, light, and love. There were the three stages of my coming back and my going. And we're talking today about being light-hearted. Light heart, light-hearted. And that was the word I was reminded of this morning. Light-hearted. And when we think of the word light-hearted, and I want you to think about it, is that each of you have an ability to realize joy. What is lighthearted, being lighthearted, but joy? When are you joyous? I want you to think about this. When you are joyous, joyous is that laughter, that carefree feeling, that moment of the sun rising or us greeting the sun. It's that moment where we are one with everything and there is no interference. And this is what we are achieving right now. And the only way we can achieve it is to let go. To let go. To let go of our attachment to the darkness. Nobody hides in the darkness. The darkness does not hide. It is visible. And it can be overwhelming. I want you to think about a body of water, be it a river, a pond, an ocean. And when you go to that body of water during the daylight, watch the light as it dances on the surface of the water. And most of you will realize that if you just calmly sit and watch the water, it's mesmerizing. What it does is it encapsulates and slows down our thinking, and we just sort of daydream, maybe not in any dream state, but just become peaceful, and the worries and fears dissipate. And the reason I bring this up, because that's the example of what, when we carry light in our hearts and share it with others, that's the reaction that others have from it. Granted, there are many of us who will want to argue with us. There will be many who want us to justify our stories. There will be many who want to articulate their theory versus our theory. There's nothing wrong with that. But in that moment, you are no longer in a state of joy. You're in a state of processing. And when the brain and the mind starts to process information, it takes the energy from your heart to do it. The more we think, the less love, the less light is being sent into the world. Doesn't mean you stop all of this, but we have to learn to balance it right now. And that's what we have to remember, is that light transports the love. It's the transportation system of love. The love of creation that it offers to the water. There is no living being on this planet without water. Water is life. It's not just a statement that a chant that people are trying to protect water over. Our bodies on a molecular level are over 90% water molecules. Love and water, creation. And when we begin life in our mother's womb, where are we? We're in the water. And the first flash of existence is when the sperm and the egg meet, and there's a flash of light. So you have light and you have water. This is science. So if you want to trust science, this is science. The light and the water don't care about science. They don't care about, does not care about what human brains are doing. But it flows, and the next thing to come online is the heart. And the heart starts beating without any reason for it to beat. It just begins. So we have light, we have water, and we have heart. That's a powerful triad right there. And without that triad, no light, no water, or no heart, there's no existence. Think about that. This is what we need to now develop at a higher level, to strengthen and to use as the living tool of bringing us through all of what we're going through. I'm just going to take a pause. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. It's my enthusiasm for life. So let's just take a deep breath here. And let's look inside ourselves at what is arising right now. For some, there may be some joy of recognition arising. For some, there may be a resonance of defense. You want to defend your beliefs, or you don't want to defend or to contradict or argue. It doesn't matter what arises. I want you to notice what is arising in you. Because what is arising in you is what you need to feel. And what you need to feel based on whether it's positive and constructive to you or energetically destructive to you, you need to become aware of. And that's that simple awareness within us, not directed from me, not directed, it may be triggered by me, and it may be triggered by what's going on around you. But what you're feeling inside is your responsibility, not anyone else's. And the only one who can ease that pain and suffering is you. And the only one who can shut down that anger and that pain is you. And this is what we're being guided. We're being guided to take responsibility. Take responsibility for our actions, for our thoughts, for our relationships, for our relationships to Mother Earth and to each other. And look long and hard at where the pain and the suffering within us is arising from. You know, in AA, the saying is, for every finger you point, you got 3 more pointing back at you. And that message goes for all of us. The minute we put blame or responsibility on somebody else, granted, we need to hold them accountable if they were placed in a place of responsibility and they're not fulfilling it, like our leadership around the world. We've put our trust in them to govern and to create a world where there's harmony and balance, and they're not. And there's nothing wrong with defying that. There's nothing wrong with calling that out. But we don't take it into our own hands to take over. How do we work together through the light, through the love? And we can't do it if we can't generate it. And we all do generate it. It's just most of us are not fully becoming aware of how powerful it is when we are in that state of life and love and light. So, my simple message today, which is not so simple, is to release what keeps you from being the light that you genuinely are. What's holding you back? What pain, what suffering, what darkness, what is it? Allow it to arise. Allow it to arise to be seen. And for many, it may be very painful. But I want you to know that pain is only momentary. You sprain your arm, it hurts like hell. 3 months later, you don't remember it. This is what we're doing right now, is we are deepening into the pain of thousands of years of our ancestors. Their pain and suffering is now being released through us. Don't hold on to it. Don't feel justified you have to fight for their suffering. Don't think that we are here to heal them. We are here to release their trauma. We are here to release their pain, because their trauma and their pain is ours through our DNA. The DNA that is now shifting in us, the human DNA is shifting once again. Just like I said earlier, the scientists are following DNA and, oh, we now have DNA from this. It's shifting once again. They can't stop this. They can destruct it, they can manipulate it, but they can't stop the shifting and changing of the DNA. It's now coming into what I call the womb water of Mother Earth, and it's released from there. And we all have been born in the womb water of Mother Earth. Whether we understand that or not, she is the greater womb of all life that exists on this planet. And in order to receive that DNA, we have to be open. We have to be open and willing to see that the darkness that we're experiencing is temporary. On the timeline that it has to exist is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. So in the world of miracles, doesn't mean we have to create miracles. It's just asking us, the universe, the divine, is actually just asking us to reconnect with the light. the light within us, right in here, right in this heart chakra. That's where it is, deeper. The deeper we go, the more light it will bring forth. But we have to go through all the wounds. We have to go through the scar tissue. We have to go through the rock, the granite, the sand, the quicksand, all of it. We have to dig deep into the heart chakra and pull off the layers and release them. Allow them to evaporate. Allow the light that's coming in us and that is within us to come together. This past, I think it was past winter or past sometime, there was what's called a reconnection of the umbilical cord between earth and heaven. I don't understand the full understanding of it, but it was the connection of Uluru in Australia to the stars. And this is what's happening, is now the DNA can now be, and this is my interpretation, the DNA can now be transferred to Mother Earth without interference. And no matter what man puts in the sky to protect us or to keep us separate or to connect in some way to take over outer space, it can't stop this because it's a completely different dimensional experience that humans have no control over, no matter how brilliant they are. And so now the light is becoming whole again here on Mother Earth. And whatever tries to separate that will only separate itself. These are ancient laws of the quantum. They're part of the quantum field. It's how the quantum field works. It doesn't need a brain. It's beyond our thinking. And it's beyond our control no matter what we think we can do. And what I'm saying to you is when we tap into that field in our heart, the quantum field of our hearts, we will awaken. And you will recognize the resonance that will uplift you and carry you in streams of peace, light, and love. And so that is basically what this is all about. It's really just all about tapping into the light and focusing on the light rather than the darkness. We all have darkness to move through. And my words to you, I don't want to go through the whole list. Many of you are speaking wonderful messages and questions. The questions that are arising you are, really important for you to seek the answer for, and seek the answer within yourself first. Whatever is bothering you, you can look it up in scientific things and papers and dictionaries and all of that. And they will give you an overview of what humanity thinks about that in this moment, what humanity has allowed itself to believe. But I want to share with you that the truth lies within you. And this isn't, I'm not quoting those words. I don't know who said them first, but there are a generality of this is when we let go. When we let go of everybody else has more wisdom than I do. Everyone else has more light than I do. Everyone is able to love more than I can. When we let go of that, I am not enough, everything changes. You are enough. You are more than enough. You are the hope and the blessings of the future generations of humanity. And I say that solemnly because this is where we are. We can now look at what we have done and what we have come to, this apocalyptic sort of world situation. And we can pause. And from this pause, we can say, which road do I take out? And the only road out is the road we came in on, which is that light that flashed in the womb and is now sitting here watching me. You are so precious. I'm going to leave you with that. You are so precious. And during kirtan, we sing a chant about the light that we are. On this beautiful elemental crystal here, I want you to see what it does with the light. This is who you are. This is who you are, this light. The light that's in that crystal is the light in the crystalline structure of who you are. Let's take a deep breath together. May I offer you the presence of all that is, the joy, the wonder, the blessings of who you truly are. As these grand beings of light that came from love and are now manifested here on planet Earth, seeking peace. You are the peace. When you come back into remembering that you are the light and the love. A simple triad, a simple geometric pattern, a triangle of peace, light, and love. May you hold that vision as you move forward. When you come into a place of struggle, when a pain, when the tears flow, when the heart breaks, know that beyond everything else, you are that triad light. I love you, I thank you, I respect you. I am you, you are me. We are unity, one heart, one love, one light. Bless you all. Thank you all. I'll be here again next Friday. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. And hope you receive some something from this gathering, and know that I bring this to you with love. I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to be me and offer the messages that come through me to a greater whole. And may you find your voice and do the same. Because it's through that speaking from the heart that we will shift the entire consciousness of humanity from one of destruction to one of benevolence. Love you all, and we'll see you next Friday. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Happy Diwali. May the light always shine in your hearts. Bless you all. Thank you.